Hello, everybody. I just wanted to show you something that I just made yesterday for a friend of mine. I had made her some pop pinchers like this, and she liked them so well that um, she had some pot holders like that on this order, to set your pans on. And but she didn't have anything to match her sunflower ones, so um, I made her these. And they're extra fluffy because I put like 3 layers of the warm. I don't think it's warm and natural batting. I think it was called something else. It was like a Dream Soft or something like that. Um, but then you can see I put these on the back so she can hang them up. But I only wanted one seam on the corner, just enough so that it's not so noticeable. But then I used the bottom piece. I measured about 10, the yellow for the back, I measured about like 10 inches or somewhere in that area. And then the top piece, I think, was like 9, and ended up cutting some off the front piece because I was looping the binding from the back piece to the front. That's what I used. I did that. So what you do is you stack your bottom piece with the outside face down, and then you put your 3 layers of batting on top. And it's kind of thin. That's why I used like 3 pieces. If you can see, that's pretty thin. So we wanted it to, um, and I didn't put in so bright or anything in it. I just wanted it for her to not damage her counters because I don't think her counters are marble or granite or anything like that. So anyway, then you put your front layer face up. So, and then I pin like one on each side and then go down through the center with the seam. And then you can eyeball it if you can see if you can sew a straight line, you can do these. It's not rocket science. It's pretty simple. And then when you go to do the binding on them, it's really simple too. It's not anything hard. So I'm just going to give them as a gift to match the pop pinchers that she bought, just because we've been friends for years, and I've known her for like, I don't know, a really long time, like 40 years. So um, she lives close, so I'll run them down to her house later. What I'm working on currently is these. These are kind of a hit right now because of it being the I don't know what you call it. 250 years isn't a bicentennial because that was after 100, and that was like halfway through. And I don't remember what year it was. I was thinking it was 1776. So now it's um, 2026, so that's 50 more years. So I guess it would be our, you do the math. I'm not thinking of math right now. So anyway, when you make these, I'm going to go through the layering again, just in case anyone hasn't seen any of my other videos. So you'll end up with 2 pieces of this. So I actually cut 4. I cut 2, and then I cut another 2, and then the other 2 become this, because you're going to take your measuring, you're going to take your stencil and put it on here and get the top and the sides matched up, and then go down through it with your cutter. And then you end up with your bottom pieces, and you'll have 2 of those. And this is not just for one pot pincher, this is for 2. And the same with the red fabric that we're going to use for the liner. We're going to do 2 of those. So we did like this. Can you see what that used to be? That used to be um, the one piece. So these will be your long piece. You'll need 2 because you have 2 of these, and then you'll have 2 of these cut pieces for the other side where your thumb and finger's going to go. Same way, like this. So you'll put these together. And well, first of all, I guess we should probably make the hooks. These are your loops. I'm going to make loops for it in case somebody wants to hang it up. And so I fold that and crease it. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Crease it in half or to the center line. And I don't always go completely to the center line because I really don't cut these straight and perfect all the time. So then I cut another, or then I fold another. I fold that to the middle, and it won't always go all the way to the middle just because. And then I try to make it between 3/8 and a ½ inch, somewhere in there, because you're going to want it to fit between a space about like this. When you put them in there in between and stitch it down to the top and bottom, I'll show you in a minute. But anyway, to make those, you just hold those 2 sides together, come over to your machine, and oh, I see I have to change my thread. So not very good planning today. Need to change my thread color. I was doing the sunflower one, so I had some bright yellow. And you're probably not supposed to pull them out that way, but I did. So I'll put that one aside for now and pull this one out. This will just take me a sec. Love this machine. And I'll put them in my little roller. My neighbor was a sewer, and when she passed away, her daughter had a yard sale, and so I went over and got several things. And the bobbin holder was kind of a handy little tool that I needed, because if it weren't for that, I'd have all that thread, all those bobbins in my sewing box. I have a neat little sewing box, or sewing basket, I should say, with a lid that opens and everything. And then, but I kind of really wanted to have them in a carrier where they won't roll all over. So I unwind a little, thread this baby, and bring it down around there, up here. I have an automatic needle threader, but it's not automatic. So you have to like push the button, push the button, push the button, and hopefully it'll go in and grab the thread that you hold up in front of your needle. And I don't have the patience for it. It takes me longer to do that than it does to actually just thread it by hand. And as long as I can see, I can get it done. So I do have, my daughter bought my husband actually a magnifying glass in case he needs to see anything small. And it's a big antique. And I have it in my sewing room just in case. But that way it's out of the way in the living room, and I may need it to sew. So what I do is I don't normally check to see if my thread is threaded right. I just kind of, okay, so I need to set the stitch to a straight stitch. And now I have my leader and ender. And a leader and ender is a piece of fabric we have like this. You guys probably haven't seen me use it, so I've been wasting thread. So now we're gonna put these back to back, or outside to outside, I should say, and go with the sewing them together. and you sew the widest part together. Looks like a kind of a cup shape, like a side view of a cup or a bowl. And then sew it's back to back. Can you see? I don't think you guys can see. Let me see if I can do this without knocking it down. Okay. I'm going to move this back so you can see. There. Okay, so sorry about the desk. It's not a very attractive thing, but it does serve the purpose for sewing, for a sewing machine. And the cat sleeps on it. Sometimes I cover it so a big pillow bed goes up here for her. So we'll get these sewn. You know what? While I'm sewing them, I'm gonna grab my iron. Sorry I look so trashy today, but we were mowing the yard, and so that got done. And it's not super hot out yet, but it is. It's warm. So I'm still going to move you back so you can see what I'm doing. And so now we're going to put these back to back or outside to outside. And that looks like I have 2 pieces of the red, and I did. And I go about a 1/4 inch from the edge. Maybe not a complete quarter. It's called a scant quarter because it actually isn't a 1/4 inch. It's a little less. And you get used to it after a while. You kind of eyeball, and it saves fabric if you can get away with using a scant 1/4 inch. It's kind of a cool thing. I mean, why have a bunch of seam allowance that's never going to show? So, sorry guys. Had to have a sip of coffee. Okay, those are done. And while, since I've already wasted thread, I'm going to go ahead and cut it so I won't have to wind it back up. And then you have something like this. So you have those, all you have to do is cut those apart, take them to the iron, which I'm going to turn on now. And these need sewn. So I kind of like to start up a little bit on it and then go backwards because my fabric seems to want to jam when it's an end piece and it's not a very big piece of fabric. It's not necessary that you really knot them at the end, like we were always taught to reverse it and all that, because those are going to be enclosed. Once I do the seams to sew each of the layers together, all of those seams that I've already sewn are going to be in there. They're going to be in that enclosed. I mean, so they're not going to unravel. And you'll see quilters do that a lot. They don't always knot everything because all you're doing when you knot is bulking up your fabric and making lumps. I mean, if you're going to sew over it anyway. And on this, I sew about a little less than a 1/16 of an inch from the edge, from the fold that you had here. So, not sure if you can see that or not, but you can always put it on Zoom if you need to. So, I'm trimming, but we're getting there. Where we live now, it's probably around 70 or 75 degrees today, and the sun is shining, so I had to move some of my plants. I have a large palm that my husband bought on the back deck, and the sun shines on it. And then once it's about 2 o'clock or so, I I move it around noon or two, between there, or 1 or 2. I move it to the shady side of the deck, closer to the house, so that the sun doesn't fry the leaves. Last year we had one, and the sun just fried it. So this year I kind of know better. So what I'm doing now is hand creasing these a little bit. And they're all going to be the creases, the folds that I make on the seam where I press it toward the solid color or the more saturated color of fabric. And I do it just so a lot of color won't be showing through on the fabric that has lighter colors in it. Those don't look real straight, but I think they'll be okay once I get them sewn. I could fix that, but I'm not going to stress about it because once it's sewn, it's not going to show. So now I go over to the iron and I give everything a little press. Let's see where I can put you guys. I think I'm gonna put you right here. Put you right there. And I have to move the cat's bed. I throw it on the floor while I'm sewing, and then it goes back up on the desk for her when she's sometime after I'm done sewing for the day. And then she sleeps by that window. She has to see outside or she gets all freaked out. Okay, we're ironing toward the dark, if you can see. Uh-oh. Hold on, I lost the phone. It's on this